Hello, everyone, and welcome to our unexpected, slightly, slight Boxing Day, Christmas commentary. We'll just go with that. This was more of an improvised fillery material, mostly because we had time to spare and not enough manpower to do it. Just me, Jova, and Shiroi for this, because it's time, much like with Secret of Nim, to take a visit a bit to my childhood. This movie called The Nutcracker Prince is a movie that I grew up. Me and my sister actually watched as we grew up as little kids. We actually had a VHS of it. It wasn't the original one. As I mentioned a couple of times, my grandparent was the equivalent of a modern day pirate. He would literally, record everything on VHSs and painstakingly, with scissors and glue, edit manually the VHSs so he could create stuff that me and my sister could enjoy.
Wow.
What an amazing person.
Wow.
Amazing.
And yeah, this is a Canadian production movie. Apparently, according to the trivia that I'm seeing here, originally it was conceived, Warner Bros. Wanted to do it while developing Robert Dangerfield, of all things. And originally make it R-rated in the vein of Ralph Bashki, but instead it had to be retooled, and out of all of this confusion, Warner Bros. Went to Lacewood Production, a company from Canada, to make this instead. This is also given by two people in particular, director Paul Shibley and producer Gavin Gills, which were the main people behind the show The Raccoons. A show that I actually never seen, but apparently this was kind of a passion project for them. And it was released on November 21st, 1990, with a budget of 8.5 million, which for an Canadian animated movie, is kind of a bit much. Sadly, it did recoup only 1.7 million in the US and 2 million for Canada, which was considered a commercial failure, but apparently it was also received poorly. Currently, it's having a 14% on Rotten Tomatoes, but the fan score is actually 70, which is much more in line with what me and my sister actually enjoyed of the movie. But again, since Jova and Shirai are actually, properly newcomers of this, they'll be able to judge properly. The only thing that I don't know anything about is how the English voice acting is, because I only watched the time dub. But I did check the cast, and we seem to have decent enough people like Kiefer Sutherland and apparently Peter O'Toole, of all people, is in this.
Mike MacDonald as well.
Mm-hmm. All right, so here's the thing. The copy that we have starts properly with the Lacewood logo. We know, however, that the movie was released by Warner Bros. Pictures in the United States and by Cineplex Odeon Films in Canada properly. So if your copy, whatever you're watching, does have different logos, just start before the Lacewood one, just for the sake of it. Even so, the movie properly starts around in 5 seconds, somehow. So if you want to get caught up with that and, be more in tune, use that kind of time frame. Let's start in 3, 2, 1, click.
So, is this like a movie that gained a cult following, or is this like just...
Not really. Okay, not that I know at the very least, Jova. This is just... You have to remember, Jova, that there are a lot of adaptations of Nutcracker Prince.
Oh, yeah.
There's the one that you mentioned about the Nazi rats. There's the one that Sabres Park covered in 1999 with Jim Belushi as the Rat King, where they constantly call the prince the Nut Boy.
and there's the Barbie Nutcracker one, which has the gloriousness of Tim Curry as the Rat King.
There's also the Disney one that is recently. Let me talk also about the score. This uses the original ballet, but it does include a couple of remixes done by Victor Davies. And again, testament to my childhood. This score is immediately nostalgic to me, complete with these steals. And yes, shame that Pedro is not here, because we have, for the main role of Clara, the main character of the story, in case you don't know, we have Megan Follows, as in the Anne from the 1985 Anne of Green Gables miniseries.
Really? Huh. Fancy meeting you again here.
It's a so-called connected.
Wait, we have a Mouse Queen in this one.
Yes, it's tied to the backstory of a Mouse King, actually.
We need our multiverse theories now.
Ah, yes, the Disney influence is felt here.
Yeah. You can tell this was in the period where, again, end of 80s, early 90s, we were just about to get out of a dark age with this.
Although it's interesting how that girl has a similar face to the girl from the Tom and Jerry movie. Also, the
She
London
actually
Symphony
reminds me
Orchestra.
instead a lot of Belle a bit. Go on.
Also, the London Symphony Orchestra. I see they went all out with this movie and the music.
Again, they actually wanted to use, aside from a couple of extra original material, they used mostly, by the book, the original Tchaikovsky, ballet.
Of course. Well, I mean, it's practically tradition to use the Tchaikovsky one.
It's the most hilarious butterfly effect ever. Tchaikovsky did not wanted his composition to be released at all. So him them actually being found out and being published led to a shitload of adaptations, considering the story is also public domain.
So, Sarah, you want to hear something funny?
Mm-hmm.
The Disney Nutcracker movie, something that normally celebrates Christmas, it was released in Halloween time.
Yeah, I did mention it a lot of times. At this point, one of us should take it actually as a Halloween peak at some
That's
point.
the thing.
And
It's
here's
called,
Uncle
spookness.
Drosselmeier. No, he's not a villain. I know that he has a eye patch and everything, but he's not a bad guy. I can swear.
What, is he dressing for Halloween early or something?
Let me see who plays him. Peter Boretsky. Let me see.
I'll admit, Megan Falls' voice is actually pretty different here, surprisingly.
Well, Fritz is voiced by Noam Zilberman. Let me see.
Let's see, the end. Okay, when was the end series dubbed?
Actually, I'm talking about the miniseries, Jova, the 1985 live-action miniseries.
Oh, never mind then, okay.
Yeah, Fritz is kind of old school like that. He just wants his orders for Christmas. Let me see. Peter Boretsky.
Is this movie perchance a musical?
No. Well, okay. I think it has one or two songs, but it mostly just incorporates the ballet during scenes. Just as things happening while the music is happening in the background.
I asked because I know you're not usually a fan of musicals, so it would be very ironic if
To be
you
fair,
actually...
the Nutcracker was never conceived, as far as I know. Okay, I know that it's a stage play, but the ballet was not conceived as a musical and so on.
They're kind of different.
That hasn't stopped plenty of movies from making it into a musical.
I know. Even The Simpsons had one of their Christmas montages a musical version of one of the Nutcracker songs.
To be fair, that was Trapek. Trapek is awesome, and I can understand a lyrical version of it. Why do kids keep going into spooky-looking forests?
That's it. They're actually their way home. Though again, I really love the backgrounds that they did for this. Again, it's still it feels like a cheap budget, maybe 8.5, but again, for the time and for a small production in Canada with just a bit of backing for Warner Bros, it's still quite a bit.
Okay,
I really hope Saber Spark covers this at some point just to talk about it.
Okay, so I doubt it's entirely like that, but I have to ask, is the entire score just, the Tchaikovsky?
No, like I said, there are a couple of extra added stuff. And here's Pavlova, Clara's kitten.
Yes, no Disney influence here whatsoever.
I think there might be also, Care Bear's influence. That poor cat has a heart shape on its butt.
I wasn't going to say anything.
Yeah, and the head structure, too.
Fucking ruffian.
Shut up.
That tree is so cool. God damn.
Yeah.
I'll admit, for a apparently relatively low budget film, it ain't terrible to look at. Okay.
Some of the characters, okay, if you watch Phelo's videos, you know that some of these characters do look a bit like ones from some of the movies that he reviews, like the Good Times jet lag stuff.
And I will admit,
So-
I do see where some of the low budget is, because some of the blending does make this appear a bit direct-to-video-ish, even though this was actually apparently a movie released in theaters.
Yeah. Again, I can understand also the time period this was made. Again, this was not still slightly before the Renaissance, the Disney Renaissance. So trust in properly traditionally animated movies was still not there.
So what exactly were critics' overall issues with this movie?
Okay, let me see. Roger Ebert called the movie innocuous. The level of imagination in the story is about his inventive almost Saturday morning cartoon shows. He also apparently of the characterization of the Nutcracker as a monster. Okay, I'll need to check that one later. Well, I'll mention it later because it involves some elements that happen later in the movie.
Fair enough. If they're spoilers, we'll just wait to see for ourselves.
Oh no, they built the kid a trumpet. It begins.
Weird place to put the start of the main theme for the theme bit here, like...
Keep in mind, when I actually watched this, the only other experience that I knew for the Nutcracker suite was just with the Fantasia segment. So
They are children.
Forget if Napoleon was a thing
please,
at the time of the Nutcracker.
just don't let the cat eat that, please.
See, normally the Nutcracker takes place in the early 1900s, before... I forget if it's before or after World War One.
Early 1900s, Jova, in Germany. But yeah, this checks out. Also, the poor cat is panicking.
Well, hence why I asked before or after World War One, because technically World War One still ended in the early 1900s.
You can tell that the family of our main character is wealthy and everything, well respected, and so yeah, it does check out.
Also, I think it takes place in Austria instead of Germany. Maybe I'm
Not this version is in Germany.
Oh, let's talk about the typical Nutcracker tale.
Well, keep in mind, when I was a kid, I thought this actually was set in Russia.
Hi, John Goodman sound-alike. The heck?
That wasn't him.
I know, but hence why I said John Goodman sound-alike.
Okay, there's also this minor subplot of this guy wanting clearly to court one of Clara's sister. Trust me, it literally goes nowhere.
Yeah, in a story about the Nutcracker, I don't often expect subplots about characters other than, well, the main heroine to go anywhere. Maybe occasionally...
It's more of a parallel to showcase the fact that Clara doesn't really care about a love story right now, but of course when she's gonna get tangled with the Nutcracker, things are gonna change. At the end of the day, the entire story about Nutcracker is about Clara essentially growing up when you get down to it. So I guess they want to put some foreshadowing.
That doll is
another thing that I
terrifying.
forgot to mention, this movie has a couple of nightmare-fueled moments, so you might want to be on the lookout of those.
It wasn't even the lightning, it was the doll.
It's just how it's paced and everything, but don't worry, we haven't reached proper ones yet.
Be careful as I nearly murder you with fireworks.
Ta-da!
It's like Disneyland before Disneyland. Which now really makes me wonder just how affected by Disney this must have been.
Considering how Don Blue... Well, considering this did not sell much, Jova, I don't think so.
You know, I'm actually surprised it took Disney so long to do their own take on the Nutcracker one. Well, you know,
And
a
even
proper
so,
feature-length
the early
movie.
reports, Jova, were mentioned that it was mostly just, supposed to be an adaptation of that segment in Fantasia, even if by the end we changed things completely anyway and made essentially an original tale.
Yeah, that's kind of a dumb idea. Like, I mean, granted, maybe they wanted to try something different from the cream of the corn, but making a
Fritz
movie...
will grow up to be Michael Bay.
Oh, God.
This kid is a little obsessed.
Look, as someone who actually loves stuff like Warhammer, yeah, this kid needs to take a chill pill.
Like, gee, oh boy, well, be careful what you wish for, given how you'll get 2 Great Wars, kid.
Yeah, let's start the festivities properly.
God, it's weird how Disney-esque these characters look to me. It's so... Okay.
And remember, this was before stuff like The Little Mermaid and everything.
Yeah, I know. It's like, it's weird. Normally with a Disney knockoff, it's like, oh, normally they take cues from, obviously, you know, the Disney Renaissance era.
As far as I know, Jova, there should be no animators who actually worked on Disney later on. Again, as far as I know. If someone actually gets to know that or find out news, then you can type that in the comments for you know. Laceboot did not have a long life. Again, the bombing on and the critical panning of this was a contributor for this because they got absorbed by Emberwood Entertainment in the 2000s.
Everwood Entertainment.
It's not much anyway. They mostly did some support for the first season of Ren and Stimpy, and for stuff like Problem Child, Monster Force, and Savage Dragon.
Okay, actually, Little Mermaid, the Disney movie, came out in 1989, a year before
Fair
this
enough.
one, so maybe, although I will give it credit, they are at least distinct enough that it feels like they can add their own identity, unlike...
Also, this movie was, you have to remember, this was also a bit in development hell, that it was, like, produced basically all across from the mid-80s onward.
Oh,
I didn't realize the Little Mermaid Disney movie was that old.
Yeah, it really is interesting. Again, though, funnily enough, the Disney Renaissance era was more or less what saved Disney, because until that point, Disney were... well, shells of their former selves at best, and, well, on the verge of death at the
Remember,
worst.
it was also stuff like The Secret of NIMH who actually encouraged them to get back on track. I know that we mentioned about the whole, Jeffrey Katzenberg giving basically a slap on the face, but, what Don Bluth was doing helped too.
Mm-hmm. I think, oddly enough, with this movie... okay, given the development hell stuff, it is now entirely possible that they did sort of go the thief and the cobbler route and borrow some influences from Little Mermaid. And oh, here we go. Yeah, this is a bit different. Normally, the Nutcracker is given to her.
You piece of shit.
Oh.
Well, crud.
Jesus Christ.
What is with this kid?
I get the idea there's some implied parental neglecting that we don't know.
I don't know. I feel like this may just be about the kid having some not well-placed obsessions.
Something that the parents clearly did not notice.
I will say this, though.
But anyway, let's now learn the backstory of Nutcracker with a different style of animation.
Huh, weird, because the characters still look the same, it's just the background.
But the environment is more abstract because it's more of a fairy tale than anything.
Is it any weirdness that his uncle just happens to look a lot like our narrator?
Well, that really makes you think. Low.
Okay, I can see where they may have cut the budget, and to be fair,
Actually, no, this is deliberate.
Oh, no. I was about to say, to be fair, this is actually a clever way to, cut the use of budget here for this year. I do dig it. I can get how this may have sat wrong with some people back in the day, but no, I can appreciate this kind of effort. And it still doesn't look bad, honestly, just, like you said, a different art style. Cheesecake.
I don't think whoever made this story know what a cheesecake is.
Movie 1.
And here's the Mouse Queen, played by the legendary Phyllis Diller. In case you don't know, she was also played the Queen Ant in A Bug's Life.
Yeah, I was gonna say I recognize that voice.
But yeah, Teo has a point here. 1, do not desecrate the name of cheesecake in the presence of anyone. And secondly,
someone who doesn't really care about cheesecake, yeah, that's clearly not a cheesecake.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't like cheesecake, and I can tell you that's not a cheesecake.
That looks closer to a pumpkin cake more than anything.
Oh no.
Why did they leave the queen to make the cake? I guess she wanted to.
Yeah, and she was good at it. It's just that they had the rat infestation.
It's had rats in it, and it's all soggy too. Ugh. If this kills him, that's treason.
He sounds like a deep-throated voice.
Let me see.
Yoda.
It's voiced by Len Carson. Again, most of these people are, Canadian voice actors.
Oh no.
Jesus.
That would have been actually just outrageous if he didn't believe his wife and did have her head cut off.
Do you have like a little tiny axe for them? Like, how does this work?
So yeah, basically just because of that, the inventor and his nephew Hans had to literally invent the concept of a mousetrap just for pest controlling.
Huh.
The Red Queen's son is actually played by Mike McDonald, which has done stuff, but is not that famous. He's just, part of the Canadian. He actually was a comedian, sadly passed away in 2018.
What are they gonna do? Poison the princess?
Closer, you'll see. Great job you're doing.
I guess she's just the lady in waiting, not the royal guards woman.
I was talking about the cat.
He's talking about the cat.
Oh, typical.
Okay, I can tell that in Italian dub they had no filter to this sequence. So I don't know why they did that here.
Oh, plague.
So yeah, what the Red Queen did was basically having a spell that turned the princess into basically a monster.
Your head, dude. Stop.
How does this kingdom function even?
I don't think it does function.
You're to blame? There.
Look, do I get to kill someone or not?
No
Again,
pressure.
how is it their fault?
It just is now. They're not gonna blame the cat.
And this, my kids, is how facial reconstruction surgery was invented.
A lot of inventions came from this kingdom.
So today I learned that a bite from a rat will apparently turn you into a monster. That's an interesting tidbit you never told us, Tio. Of course, this isn't...
Well, I wonder if he's okay. I know that the backstory is mostly similar to the one in the book, but I wonder if the animator for this took a bit of inspiration from Back to the Future for the game mechanic between the inventor and Hans.
In most adaptations of the Nutcracker, I don't recall this story. So
there actually is this backstory included. Yes.
With the Rat Queen and all that.
Yes, which would lead eventually to the Rat King.
Huh. Kudos to this film, honestly.
Again, remember, even the 1999 version that Saberspark reviewed actually remembers that, although they just quickly skim it over by narrating about it.
Huh. I guess kudos to this version for going where a lot of Nutcracker films don't.
Keep in mind, until this point, there weren't too much. There was the Care Bears version.
Was that?
Then there was
that
one
really bad?
Most of Care Bears, animated adaptation of classic stuff are usually bad.
Okay. I know the Wonderland one was definitely terrible.
How specific?
Like, geez, what's next? Does he need to have
Who
7
writes
tails?
these things?
Whoever cracks the nut will win my daughter's hand.
Might as well at this point, I guess.
Quick, run before he figures out that we completely made that up on the fly. I'm guessing most adaptations get a cut out this part because they consider it kind of like, extra baggage.
Something that can be summed up quickly as well, yes.
Yeah. And
that outfit now seems very familiar.
And I guess to give it credit, in this case, the idea is mainly supposed to be about Clara growing up, essentially. Ooh.
As someone who is actually I'm one of those weirdos who actually never been afraid of a dentist. I know that it is a common terror, but I never had. And yet this is painful. Okay, we'll say this. Phyllis Diller is amazing in the role because I don't think the Italian voice actress did a bad job, but she was a bit too high pitched for the role. This is much more fitting for the character.
Was Phil still in Futurama, perchance?
I don't know. Apparently, someone who did the 1999 version must have watched this one because she did one minor role in that one, actually.
Huh.
Well, okay, she was in a couple of episodes of Family Guy. There's that.
She was in Jimmy Neutron, of course.
Oh no.
Oh god.
Guess it's worth a shot now more than ever.
Yeah, Hans has to fix the situation before she gets down.
See, it turns out Hans was the diamond in the rough after all.
Basically, or at least he had better dental care, I guess.
Thank God it ended on human. That would have been awkward if she ended up as a rhino. So essentially, what the princess needed to be cured was something that came secondhand from someone else's mouth. Oh,
Take
the jokes
that
to be
metaphor
made.
for what you want, I guess. All done. Yeah, she's not done yet. And that's how he became the Nutcracker.
And the queen, I'm guessing, perished. And your mother might be dead.
Yeah, she's a bit indisposed.
Oh.
I'm guessing this is also how it goes in the original tale, too.
And how he actually gets to become the Rat King.
I'm finally free. Woo!
Well, change in leadership.
I mean, his mother kind of sucked.
Yeah. I think I do get another reason why people cut out this bit from adaptations. It's because a lot of later adaptations want to make it a twist that, oh, the Nutcracker actually was human once or something, and it's...
Potentially, yeah.
Really? They did all you asked for, my dude!
Well, you have seen that this royalty kinda sucks.
Yeah.
Boy
Why haven't they been overthrown yet?
Boy turns into
well, obviously this version is actually more comedy. You have to remember also the original tape was also more of a critique of politics as well.
That explains a lot, honestly.
And yes, the entire reason why the Mouse King targets the Nutcracker is just because a set of action just destroyed his tail. Not even for the death of his mother, just because of that.
Okay, I think I'm seeing some other reasons why this segment isn't kept one-to-one in most adaptations. Yes, I do get it. Early fairy tale silliness, but... yeah, I'll admit, I've seen some more better, compelling versions from other adaptations.
Keep also in mind, remember also how this particular segment was animated. It's going to be slightly important for later.
Maybe the idea is that it's not exactly how it went down.
Well, it is a fairy tale after all that Drosselmeier is narrating, so again, you can tell that there might be a bit of Dalvedy flavor. Also, you may have noticed there was a shot before where Clara was holding a cracker where he had all of his teeth. Oops.
Yeah. Although, from what you tell me, what we saw there...
Don't let the cat near the fire, thank you.
Although, from what you told me, though, just to be certain, what we just saw is essentially how it goes one-to-one in the original.
I don't know to the details, but mostly at the very least, the basic idea of, curse on the princess, the Nut has to cure her, Nutcracker manages to do it, but the Mouse Queen dies in the process as well.
I will give them this.
Okay, we're about to get to this. Again, keep in mind the setting. There is absolutely no music now. Well, mostly just the traditional suite, but it's very low key.
Okay. Yes, there's the opening.
Why is everything more detailed now?
Well, we're back in the real world, technically.
I guess Sherry was saying that it's more detailed even compared to other shots in the real world.
Well, the backgrounds in general have been more detailed than the main characters. Okay, I know that you're not getting proper sleep, Clara, but what the fuck are you doing? She just hears the pendulum and of the clock and just decides to go down there.
You should probably stay upstairs.
I feel compelled to check out this clock that I probably have heard for God knows how many days in my life. Or maybe she hears the music and it's playing.
No, this is not diegetic.
Oh, then I have no idea why she's going down. Honestly.
Okay, she does have a reason properly, but again, the movie hasn't conveyed it until she actually does it. There you go.
Was she summoned by a mystical force?
No, she just wants to take another look at the Nutcracker.
And this can't
you'll
wait
see
until
what she wants to do.
tomorrow.
And it's like 3 a.m. You don't have to do this.
Okay, again, most adaptations I've seen normally have something else like his arm or leg be broken as opposed to his teeth be broken, so maybe this is how it was in the original, or maybe this is a change.
I don't know. The beats.
It's fine either way. I will give him credit for actually committing to adapting the entire fairy tale segment, though.
And yet, also in a short amount of time, mind you. Again, I mistook. I got Mandela effect, and I thought this was like 90 minutes, but no, it's actually 75. Approximately.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Most adaptations, usually by now, we're in like the mystical, magical Nutcracker land or whatnot, or we've at least been to it once in plots that take place over.
Okay, now we're having a song. Actually, I forgot that there was this.
Also, my brother posed all the soldiers to make it look like they're firing guns. He's a bit weird like that.
If only Dweebs was here to hear that glorious symph.
Okay, I'm guessing they did the synth for aesthetic reasons because they
they wanted to actually put a song for this piece.
Oh, and hey, it's done over one of the melodies from the Nutcracker suite too.
Yeah, I gotta be honest, I actually forgot about this. I probably just, my brain just skipped it over.
It's 3 a.m. Go to sleep.
Seriously, who's singing down there?
Okay, I can't believe Clara's parents exaggerated with the eggnog and are now basically knocked out. But Fritz shouldn't be. Jesus.
And you interrupted
Wait a minute. Not the singing, but the cat dropping a bell.
Oh boy, this.
You think?
Maybe you should.
That was a while ago. What did we summon?
Yeah, these shots scared the living shit out of me as a kid. The idea of the pendulum literally becoming like this ghost that doesn't even talk and just spray shit all over it.
What?
And mind you, this is not even supposed to be a scary moment. It's just for things to start happening, but Jesus.
So he became an owl and then becomes human to shoot
No,
gold dust
more
that
like
gets...
a vision of him appeared like there in the pendulum to sprinkle some magic that starts apparently calling back the mice army, the subject of the Mouse King.
Oh, I get that. What I mean is like, oh, it's weird how he started off as the owl on the clock for some reason.
Remember, Drosselmeier basically did most of the contraptions that the Clara's family tended to have, so it's not too much of a stretch that he did that as well.
The cat just wants to play.
My cat's going to
Yeah, it's
probably
about
kill
to
him.
get less silly.
Eh?
Oh,
Here's the Mice King now with the proper art style of the movie. Again, this is a far cry
Okay.
from how silly it looked beforehand.
So now they're taking cues from SAT-AM's Robotnik.
you're about to stab the cat.
I'm just here to get the story started, I guess.
Basically, thanks to the sprinkling of the magic, also the other toys come to life. And yes, apparently the Pantaloon is voiced by Peter O'Toole of all people.
Okay.
And the Nutcracker himself, Joe, is voiced by Kiefer Sutherland.
Well, yes. Of course.
Punished Snake as the Nutcracker.
Didn't Kiefer Sutherland also voice Hans, too? Since, you know,
Yes.
they're one and the
Yes.
same.
Again, I forgot the name of the protagonist. The agent protagonist from 24. The Nutcracker. Okay, let me see the other two female dolls who are voiced by.
We need you to house the recruits for this war here.
This is more a scenario also slightly, not completely, slightly similar to Hook. The whole idea with the fact that the Mouse King wants this is because he literally just wants his war against the Nutcracker. It's a good thing that Fritz had all of his soldiers, I guess.
Why? Why does he have to do it?
Because remember, remember the spell also labeled him as the king of the dolls.
Of course.
So basically, commitment to that role.
Wow, so not only did they turn him into a wood doll, they pretty much put him in a political power that he wasn't even prepared for.
Yeah, the thing about Pantaloon is that he's kind of an old model, so...
It's weird how, out of all of them, though, he's the only one who seems to still have doll-like features, whereas everyone else, well, okay, he has a wind-up toy in his back, but otherwise, they have much more humanoid faces. Meanwhile, he's got that obvious Pinocchio nose there.
Probably to differentiate him from what he looked like Hansa.
I suppose maybe the idea is also because they all started as toys, but he didn't. I don't know.
Also that too, maybe. Anyway, I haven't seen any particular roles for the other two. The old one I can tell you in my country was voiced by the same voice actress who did basically all of Angela Lansbury's roles, like Mrs. Potts or Jessica Fletcher. One of them is voiced by Lynn Gorman. I mean, this was actually. Oh God, this was actually. Uh, this actually was posthumous. She died in 1989. Oh, was the last thing that she did. Let me see. She was in Friday the 13th, the series. No, I can't find any particular things that she did in her career that I can recognize aside from what I mentioned.
It's funny because Tchaikovsky also did make a musical tune using cannons.
Also, you're laughing. They're going to war, and you're laughing.
Yep.
Again, also, most of the shots with, again, the comparison with the Set AM Sonic are on point because most of the shots with the Mouse Kings are making look really like demented, particularly the eyes. I did check if my country did sponsor this movie like it did with the Sonic the cartoon, but no. Even though I distinctly remember in my country's copy, it proudly displays the logo of Berlusconi's company.
Okay,
So I thought it was a similar case.
I'll admit, I'm surprised. We're past the halfway point and we still haven't gotten to the magical Nutcracker
That's
land.
because they don't spend too much time there, I can tell you that, Jova.
Huh. Again.
Well, you'll be able to see for yourself.
I'm not disappointed, I'm just surprised. Like, again, pretty much every other adaptation I've seen does get to the magical land.
Spends a lot of time there, yeah.
I guess you could argue it does kind of make it an essential Wizard of Oz bit here and there, where we wonder if it was real or not. Some varying more than others. Again,
Oof.
I don't know if this is how the original Nutcracker tale went, so maybe this is actually ironically one that's trying to be more faithful to it.
Just for a more exaggerated bit for comedy as well, but let me see if there is some extra bit.
I will say.
Oh, there you go. The film actually has released in DVD. I actually didn't check that. Initially released by Hollywood DVD on October 14, 2001, United Kingdom. Also in Canada. Oh, Good Times actually distributed the DVDs for the Canada and USA in 2004. Ironic. And it was released a second time in United Kingdom by Boulevard Entertainment. Both releases no extras besides animated menus and a theatrical trailer. Alas.
I love how the girl's just been standing there this whole time.
Yeet.
Nice shot. Though that.
Oh.
Okay. That's gonna leave a mark. Okay, now that may be worse than
And
the tail being
apparently
crooked.
that allows her to knock on the pendulum, and thankfully she doesn't get cut by the glass and just gets knocked out.
And
next day.
That's the next day. We didn't even see the fight properly end, but there you go.
It's more of the ambiguous of, was it all a dream?
Oh my god! There's scorch marks on the floor here! Everything is messed and there's rat crap! What the hell?
It's the effort. In case you need to reminder, Shira, by the way, my sister took this kind of personally because I was the little shit sibling of the family. So.
I was just thinking as he put the box on, oh, that was nice of him. Oh.
It's the effort that counts.
He's gonna grow up to be a war criminal one of these days.
Yes, he is.
There you go. At least Drosselmeier managed to fix him.
Okay.
Remember, she believed to have seen him independent and everything, but, again, could have been a dream and everything.
It's funny, though, how he doesn't seem to deny it, though.
Again, we want to leave that kind of shrug until the very end. Take your meds, sweetie.
You were hitting the head very hard. Go to sleep.
We don't want to have to give you electroshock therapy. It's new, but I hear it's still deadly.
Works so well on Dorothy.
Return to Oz was a special movie.
I don't think I want to know.
No. Okay, I will say this. I don't think it's bad, but it's kind of one of those, it needed to gain a cult following before it was given another chance sort of films. That said, though, the Wheelers are terrifying. Mombi is terrifying. The Gnome King is terrifying.
I heard that the scene with the heads in the corridor is also terrifying.
Yes, it is. Basically, for someone... Okay, to be fair, it's not so much Return to Oz's fault so much as the fault of the original Wizard of Oz movie for popularizing a more sanitized look at Wizard of Oz. When in reality, Wizard of Oz is actually pretty dark when you think about it.
Oh, God.
Also, hello there. I didn't want to simply hurt him, I wanted to kill him. God, the music is getting very suspenseful all of a sudden. Oh!
I will say, I get down why the Mouse King wants to have, personal revenge because everyone treat his poor tail.
Okay, you know what? The crooked thing, fair enough. Okay, that wasn't the worst thing. Burning the tail, that was getting serious. And now this.
Closing it in the fucking cupboard.
Thank God it didn't cut it off. Oh no! He's only reaches up to part of my leg!
To be fair, it might still be a sharp sword. See, Shiroi, now it's personal.
You are several feet taller than him. Just
Yeah.
put him in a jar.
Yeah, let's recycle some animation for, more Deus Ex Machina.
Yeah, okay, the story can progress.
That box must hurt.
I'm not sure it's a good competition.
Where did you all come from?
Huh, good question. Maybe I can help! Given that I am 10 times his size!
No, again, this time it has to be personal. Jesus Christ.
Ooh!
Dude, just have it docked at this point. It's much better for you that way.
It used to do like the Saiyans, we're just reeling around your waist.
Yeah.
Dude.
Dingus.
Not the smartest.
Now that's losing
Marbles,
your
my
marbles.
one weakness.
Again, for all the other toys are helping, why doesn't the girl ever think to just nab the Rat King from the back? It's like, ew, a rat?
Oh, shit.
Oh, he dead.
I do get the feeling that this probably would have found more success as a direct-to-TV special movie as
DVD,
opposed
just like
to
direct
a
to
theatrical
VHS,
one.
probably.
Damn, did he just freaking run him through? Ha!
Even if we don't really see him, yeah. Look at that, there's even blood on the sword, Jesus.
Wow!
Again, Jova, this was still not yet properly the exit of the Dark Age of animation, so they still thought they could show a bit of that extra stuff. I don't know actually what's the rating of this movie, to be honest.
So...
And yeah, the reason why we have to go to the elevators this time is because Pantalo needs to be fixed.
So the Mouse King is essentially dead now.
Basically.
This is this is very much a change. Normally the Mouse King is like, the final boss at the end of the story.
Mm-hmm. Let me see if there's mention.
I will you now? That sounds more like the incantation for a time spell than a shrinking spell, but okay. Hooray! Yeah, maybe we should have done that before I started shrinking.
Just
okay.
grab her.
Apparently, I found a piece of trivia in the meantime. The kitten, Pavlova, apparently it's called like that because, for an Easter egg, he was named actually after the Russian ballet dancer Anna Pavlova, who apparently specialized in the original ballet. That's a cute Easter egg. And also, but Kiefer Sutherland is not exactly on this A game on this.
I mean, I guess he's fine, but okay.
Okay, IMDb listed this to be rated as G, if I recall correctly. Let me see. United Kingdom U. Fair enough. Again, aside from that minor blood, there is not much. Bye, Pavlova.
Are you telling me I'm not in the movie anymore? What is this shit?
Yeah, okay, I guess one thing about this movie that is a bit odd is that some plot elements and characters kind of just come and go with little to no fanfare. And then there are some characters like, again, the two lady dolls that don't really seem to serve much of a purpose. Granted, maybe they'll help out more now.
Basically, the rest of the
cute.
movie, Java is gonna be spent in the Doll Kingdom.
Okay, maybe we'll have more challenges to face there and whatnot. And yeah, well, hey, at least
So
you got
are
dinner.
gonna eat that, Pavlova? It's a bit too much for you.
Oh, I got a blood splatter and everything.
Oh shit.
Oh! Okay, maybe I spoke too soon.
Well, we'll see. I have to also admit this is also the point where, again, as a child, the movie started losing me a bit because the pace is gonna slow quite a bit now.
Oh, let me guess. It's essentially just us looking at the wonderment of this, and then the Mouse King comes back, then we defeat him for reals, and then the plot's essentially done.
Basically. Bye.
Okay. Really? A lot of help you were, lady. I mean, okay, I think I'm starting to see where some critics may have been off with this movie. I don't think this movie is terrible.
Oh, there you go. I found what I will. I can't say now what I will. Apparently, Roger Ebert did not have much knowledge of Regiment because his critic was also towards that. And he mentions this in regards to the fact that the Nutcracker actually kills the Mouse King. He says, in the real world, when a person is so lacking empathy that he kills someone else simply for his own convenience, he is known as a psychopath. Why does our society give its children so many stories in which the heroes, not the villains, are psychopaths? And I'm like, Roger, buddy, love you and everything, but what did you watch?
Look, this movie may have some issues, but let's see. The Rat King was trying to kill him. At worst,
it's very common for these kind of fairy tales and everything.
Honestly,
I don't even know where does this argument come from.
Weird. Now, that being said, with actual issues I do have with the movie, while I do like the art style here and there, I will admit sometimes it can feel a little too inconsistent at times. Yes, it's nice that the Mouse King changed. No! What reason do we have to wait for you?
Oh, there's a bit of a payoff.
You're still in this movie.
There, you get a duck.
Oh my god.
What are you doing?
What are you going to do with that?
Oh my god!
Oh, no. That poor duck.
Yeah, I guess as far as cast of characters go, she is definitely the load. How nice and whimsical. Oh my god, are we about to come to the opening of every Good Times movie with that stupid
I know,
logo?
right? It's kind of similar to that. Did Good Times ever made a Nutcracker version? I'll have to ask Pedro.
Let me check. Pretty sure they did, but never hurts to be sure.
Okay, I will also say this. This was still like 1990. And like you mentioned, that's the thing. I was going to mention that the Disney Renaissance reintroduced still the concept that there goes dress change. And that also had Pantaloon. While the Disney Renaissance introduced also the concept that Roger Ebert criticized so much about this, about the whole heroes being psychopath for this, there were a couple of movies that did before, like, the Great Mouse Detective, for example. I really don't know where it was going. Besides, it's not even a case. It's not even a case where, he did it intentionally, or the Mouse King was treated in a more sympathetic measure in the sense, the family or anything. No, it was really just, someone who wanted to kill the acting in self-defense.
Right. I guess you could argue in The Great Mouse Detective, technically Basil didn't kill Ratcliffe. It was the clock that did it. But,
there's the whole thing about him using the bell almost to instigate the Big Ben, but it's more just flexing more than anything.
Yeah, I was assuming I used to think he did the bell to cause the clock. You're a waste of a southern accent. Oh, we're just giving everyone a love interest now, are we? I see.
Basically. Well, man, she seems to like that anyway, so...
Sure, whatever. it is so surreal that we only spent the last 20
And you
or
can
so
tell me it's
minutes
more
in
just
there.
for flavor more than anything, Java, because let me tell you, we're about to get to the moment that I couldn't stand as a child for the most part. It's not, I can tell you this, it's not a musical piece, but it's kind of close.
Don't tell me, big lipped alligator moment.
It's okay. It's an entire sequence that's supposed to be, showcase also the music that Tchaikovsky did, but it's just these two dancing with this trippy background, and that's it.
Seriously? Why even? Like, in fact, didn't the reason we come here was to help out Pantaloon?
It did. Remember, transitioning to it actually rejuvenated him.
So technically we could just go home then. Why are we wasting time on this?
That's because if you know the original tale, at this point, the Nutcracker wants Clara to stay.
Okay, look. If this is how the original fairy tale went, then, well, props to them for trying to bring it back here and there, but it feels kind of sloppy storytelling-wise. Like, oh, okay, look. I'm not, like I said, I don't mind this movie god-awful, but I am seeing where the issues with the storytelling would be. Like, well, I'm not seeing how this was all to teach Clara a lesson in this sense, when all she pretty much did was, carry him for a bit and refuse to hand him over to the Rat King. Everything else was more or less done via Eye Patch Uncles' magic or whatnot, and then the Nutcracker just leading an army against the Rat King. Be my princess! What the hell? Okay, you haven't had any hints of romance whatsoever before. Where is this coming from?
Remember, the other dolls were stuff that she possessed since she was a child.
I get that, but that's like me saying I want to stay with, like, my old Hot
No,
Wheels.
she was mostly referring. I was referring to what she just said, but as she said, she still has, to, yeah.
I think the answer should just be, no, I can't stay because, well, I have a life out there.
Basically.
I think the issue I do have with the payoff here is, like, well, it doesn't feel like there's been enough conflict with that. Like, I never really got a hint that, oh, she
And
didn't
apparently
want
her just saying no makes everything go to shit.
to...
Please understand.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Was it implied that the Rat King did all that?
It's more like that he still followed her.
Quick, throw a cake at him! That may stop him!
That's the problem, Joe. I know that it's I get that you might find it a bit army, but it's more of a case where she literally has nothing else to do, basically. And even there's also the fact that the splotches of, the inside of the cakes on top of the Rat King's face makes it look like a more extra blood to give a bit of extra nightmare fuel.
Yeah, it does have that effect, but I don't know, I guess this whole sequence just feels a little out of place, like you put it. And there he goes.
Well, at least he still did not get damaged, I guess, this time.
No,
Yeah,
he just drowned.
but he is dead.
This is weird because her learning her lesson feels like it did more bad for her mental psyche than, the good
movie's
it
not
should
over
do.
yet, though, Drova.
Oh, yeah. I get that the movie's not over. It's just that
It still feels weird, I get it.
Yeah.
Although... Albert Fritz described it, it was awesome, it was the most awesome thing ever.
Pretty much.
I think she hit her head harder than we thought.
So this more or less is kind of like a prototype for It Takes Two, complete with people who fall from a huge distance falling on the floor.
She doesn't even get dressed up, just a coat and out there in the snow, freezing her poor feet on.
Yeah, you are running through the snow. Oh, no, she did put, like, slippers on or something.
She has, but the slippers, I can't even, not even socks, with just those slippers in the snow are probably gonna get her feet frozen.
And all for what? To help what, well, as far as she knows, was a dream. Oh, goody. She's all mentally distressed and everything, just as planned. Oh my god, Jesus, I'm
having an existential crisis!
I was kidding about the mental trauma, but dang. Oh, hey, Hans. We're gonna keep her forever in doubt on whether or not she thinks this was all real. Seriously, the way he smirks like that. Also, yes, we get it that it's the finale, but dang, this music is really going hard against this. Wait,
and
that's how it ends?
Wait, why did you call me that?
Wait. No, seriously. No, seriously, back up. Why did you call me Nutcracker? Has my uncle been telling you that story he tells when he's drunk?
Again, it's the whole ambiguous thing. Oh, was everything real? Was it only just a dream on their part or anything?
That's it. The Shirai's outburst really does point it out how...
Oh, great, more synth. I forgot about this.
That just suddenly happened.
I guess this wasn't a thing that Titanic premiered. This probably was a thing since the early 90s or the end of the 80s.
Oh, no. If anything, probably Disney premiered it, with Little Mermaid.
But anyway, yeah, that's it. There's no post-credit scene, so the Nutcracker won't be invited to the Nickelodeon initiative. So, well, Jova, what do you think?
Okay. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I feel like this movie may not have gotten as panned as it did if this had been a direct-to-TV or video special, because I'll admit it does have some pretty good ideas here. The art style is easy enough on the eyes, honestly. It doesn't look... I'm not quite sure it looks movie theater worthy, but still, it doesn't look terrible by any means. Having the different art style for the backstory was an interesting take as well, while having the uncle and Hans, appear in the more natural art style, against the more cartoonish looks and all that here and there. I feel like this. The movie has a good start. I feel like the problem is as soon as the magic stuff starts happening, suddenly stuff just happens on a whim here and there, and this was somehow tied into Clara's lesson about wanting or needing to accept growing up, except no, it turns into, in the end, her having an existential crisis about what's real or not, and I guess she really loved the Nutcracker Prince after all. And okay, look. I'm not going to go after the ambiguity thing because that's always been a thing about the tale. That said, something about the way this movie does it just makes it feel more confusing than it needs to be. And yeah, as soon as we get to the halfway point, the storytelling becomes weird with the pacing. So we've defeated the Mouse King, except not really, and his minions just vanished too. Granted, they came just as randomly, so yeah, there's that. So now we finally go to the magic world. Clara realizes she wants to grow up, and that makes everyone essentially die. Honestly, for as much as I complained about, critiqued some of the characters, technically, the last we see of most of these characters is them essentially dying in front of Clara's eyes.
To be fair, she does check and they are present in the library thing that she has in in the living room.
Oh, true, yeah, but in terms of them, actually being walking and talking, not anymore. Like, damn, and she sees them literally fall lifeless and motionless, and I'm just like, well, we were all like, okay, but why? And then the Mouse King has a kind of nightmare fuelish death there, like, holy cow. I'm not quite sure what was going on at that point. It felt like they were just
basically literally his last set of energy trying to kill Clara, but he still couldn't do it. It's not even a thing like she actually dodged it. She was also potentially gonna fall, but she just grabbed onto the ledge.
Which makes me wonder, why does he go after Clara when he should want to go after the Nutcracker? The guy who stabbed him?
It's, again, I always interpret that with the idea that now that what was real and what was not was stabilizing, Clara was literally the only remaining thing present in a castle model. So...
possibly. Again, I'll put it like this. I liked the movie's first half. I just wish that the later half could have, kept that pace and structure. I feel like this movie could have been a bit longer, because it feels like they were having to scrunch everything in at the last half, and it does feel like that does hurt the movie here. Now, do I think it's terrible? Nah, honestly, I enjoyed looking at this overall. It's just that it could have been much better and better structured overall, if you get my drift here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, to remember also they had the trouble development production, so that might be a factor too.
That kind of does show, sadly. That being said, I can see why it's fun to look back at this one here and there. It's fine. Could have been better, but it's fine. Sure.
I didn't know what to expect, and it's still a weird one. It's kind of all over the place. There's a lot of baffling things, not just in the ambiguity, because that was always a thing apparently, but yeah, there's just a lot here where it's like, okay, why this? I mean, at least the music's good, although I think everybody is familiar with the soundtrack in particular, aside from the new vocal arrangements.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, despite the budget, it's not it's still better animated than, you mentioned that the characters look like they came from Disney knockoff kind of things. I'd say this is better animated still, despite the budget compared to those movies. I think the voice acting is pretty good. I don't dislike this at all. It's just it's
insane.
Yeah, it, and I probably shouldn't be feeling bad for the Rat King, but ouch, jeez.
Kimi Props suggests that it might be considered be a bit of what we call jerk-ass movie. And again, Roger Ebert seemed to also be thinking of that. My counter-argument is that, yes, he might have been conditioned to do that, but he ultimately still was very violent in his expression and everything. And don't forget, he also threatened to kill Clara's cat under her eyes, just as bargain. So there's that too.
They say all's fair in love and war, yada yada yada.
Yeah, he did try to stab multiple people.
I don't think ludonarrative dissonance has to be applied here.
Mm-hmm. The movie was going from really quirky and bizarre to pretty violent, actually, for the kind of movie that it is. It is very the tone is the movie can't decide on the tone, I don't think. I think that's it. It was this is strange again.
But before you go, Tio, to answer your question, yes, there is a Good Times Nutcracker film.
Of course there is.
Oh, joy. We'll get to that maybe another time then. I haven't checked the stuff like the Tom and Jerry version. I'm not suspecting it to be that great.
I've seen that one, and from what I saw, it was not terrible. Granted, it was a while since I saw that, but
I've seen the Barbie Nutcracker one back when it came out in 2002, 1 or 2, because it was a TV broadcasting, so probably a bit after it came out. And it was alright, but I don't remember anything particular about it, and the animation was early 2000 CGI, so you can imagine that it probably hasn't aged the most spectacularly.
What carries the Barbie Nutcracker movie is definitely the voice acting, especially, like I mentioned, Tim Curry as the Mouse King, like...
I have seen the version that Sabres Park talk about it, and talk about the Not Yes Nutcracker, the one where Jim Belushi is instead the Mouse King somehow.
Oh yeah, and wasn't that the one with the
bad?
Wasn't that the one with one of the female characters constantly making a pass at the Nutcracker or something?
I don't remember that particularly, but there's something close to that as well. The Care Bears version sucks. The most decent Disney version sucks. The Wasn't That version sucks. I haven't seen the other ones, but I'm starting to believe what all and everything that TV Trope said, that this one that we just watched is probably actually one of the better adaptations of the story.
I'm still gonna say I actually prefer the Barbie Nutcracker movie over this one.
We'll have to see eventually, I guess, a couple of them. Not looking really forward to the Not Yes Nutcracker, because that one is really painful to go through. It's good. Watch the Sabres Park review if you want, but let me go for the fan thoughts on this one. Again, taking away the nostalgia goggles aside for a second, I really like the animation for the most part, particularly the backgrounds. The music is fantastic. Again, this is technically ballet, but it was actually, recomposed for this by the London Philharmonic Orchestra, so that's pretty cool, actually. They even released a Procure with Atlantic Records. The original song that they came out with at the end, it's fine, but you can tell that it's for the time it was made. That scene, it's probably something that dweebs would be cringing about.
And what about the actual in-film song that literally gets interrupted by the cat breaking an ornament?
I didn't particularly care for it, and there's a good reason my brain just, canceled it until seeing it again. I like the voice acting for the most part. It's a bit of a mixed bag for me, because some voices fit better with the English dub when it comes to English dub, while others fits better the Italian dub. So again, each version has their pros and cons to me for this. When it comes to the actual storytelling, yeah, the biggest problem is that this is rushed. Having 20 extra minutes at least could have easily helped, fleshing out a bit more everyone else. I kind of like the idea that the Mouse King goes from this more comedic side character to the Queen in the flashback fairy tale kind of thing, but when you transition to the animation style it's used for the quote-unquote real world, his experience is more scary and demented, and it's used to an effect even in the climax. Again, though, a lot of things are just potentially glossed over or very rushed very quickly. You can tell by towards the end the movie is just accelerating to a speed, despite the fact that the pacing also slows. It's both at the same time, and it's weird. But yeah, it's still a mess. But I do remember still having a lot of enjoyment out of this, and I dread to watch some of the other adaptations, because I know for a fact that most of the others, at the very least, suck much more than that. So happy Boxing Day, and we'll see you for whatever one other of these adaptations will do next. God help us.